This is vintage. I'm going to walk you guys through an incredible story about how I started this company in my driveway purely out of passion, and how that one old Bronco that I bought turned into this amazing mission and journey, and why we do what it is we do. And so we are here in Atlanta, Georgia. This is one of our facilities where we make all the magic happen. And before we dive in, this beautiful truck in front of me, Caribbean turquoise modern classic, is not a restoration. It is not an old car. All of this started because, well, a couple things. Number one, I'm a car fanatic, and I grew up as a kid just loving cars, but I had no money. And the kind of cars I wanted, they cost a lot of money. And so early on, my motivation was work hard, make money, buy cars. And luckily, I was successful in that endeavor. And since I was 21, I've had over 50 cars. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, McLaren, AMG, Bentley. And I share that with you not to brag. I share that with you so you understand that the amount of cars that I've had and the kind of cars I had drove me to do what it is we do today here at Vintage. And so after you have all those kinds of cars, including 6 G-Wagons, 6 Range Rovers, all kinds of cars, Lamborghini Urus, I can make a whole list. One day, I bought an old Bronco, a 1970 grabber blue Ford Bronco. I always wanted that car since high school, but every time I got close to buying it, I chickened out because I'm not a mechanic. I have no desire or ability to fix my car. And even if I could fix it, I just didn't want to. I just want to drive it. And so I buy this old Bronco, and from 10 feet away in my driveway, it looks nice. Every single thing about that car, other than the way it looked, was absolutely terrible. The way it steered, very loose, scary, and all over the road. The brakes, they barely worked. I'm gonna take you around our factory here. And it leaked everywhere, oil and gas. And at the time, I had just built my new house, brand new tile floor in my garage, and it was just everywhere on the floor. And then every single time I started my old Bronco, the entire house smelled like gas. And when I could drive it, most of the time it was in my mechanic's shop or broken down on the side of the road. It was very uncomfortable. The ride was harsh. The steering was loose. And that was if I made it. And my wife had an opinion about that car. She also loved the way it looked, but I had spoiled her with so many nice cars, she really couldn't stand it. It made her hair smell like gas. I tried to take her out on date night, and her clothes smelled like gas, and she's like, "Cho, it's me or the Bronco." And I decided to keep both. And so then what happened was I basically asked, how do we make this old car better? And so got into restoration, teamed up with a mechanic, made it incrementally better, but it still really wasn't that great. And I reached a tipping point where, after being broken down on the side of the road in Georgia for the 10th time, I was like, God, what are we gonna do here? And it was pretty clear to me that what we had to do was we had to modernize it. And in doing so, this little restoration hobby business that started my driveway purely out of passion went from restoration to this building. And when we moved in here, we started with nothing. And we built people, process, parts to build a Restomod, a modern restoration. And that's what you're gonna find out there today. If you do your research, there's a bunch of companies that do it, and we did it really well. Restomod is modern restoration, modified restoration. So we built those, and we built them for all kinds of people. Mark Wahlberg, LeBron James, Jennifer Lopez, huge list of people. And people just like you and I. People who just liked cars. They weren't mechanics. They had success in their life, so they could buy whatever they wanted. And at the time, before we built this fully modernized classic, it was the best you could buy. New drivetrain, newer components, some modern technology. And then the feedback that we got was that our fit and finish was gorgeous. The service was exceptional. However, the way it drove still wasn't like their Range Rover G-Wagon. And we had a choice. We could ignore that feedback and keep building Restomods, or we could evolve with the times. And if you think about modern day advancement in technology and engineering, it significantly improves every few years, especially every 10 years. Well, restoration used to be all the thing, all the rage. And then it became Restomod, and we got really good at it. But we had to make a big decision. Do we build a good company, or do we build a great company? And to build a great company, you have to give the clients everything they want. But what if the rest of mod can't give you everything you want? And so what we did was we went on a journey, and I'm going to show you behind the scenes to show you how we actually build a modern classic, what the difference is and why it matters to you. And I'm going to be really transparent about it because I just want to share openly how it is we arrived to what it is we do today. And it starts with this. This right here is not an old frame or an old chassis. It's a modern 2025. So here's the truth about old cars. There's a reason why they don't drive like new cars. Number one is going to be the geometry. Wheelbase length, too short, right? So the old restorations and Restomods have only a 92-inch wheelbase. So the distance from here to there is only 92 inches. And on top of that, the distance of the track width is narrow. Now, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure this out, but if you have a short wheelbase this way and a narrow track width, think about your center of gravity and how that's going to drive. And we tried everything. Believe me, we are maniacal and relentless about improvement. And we hit a wall. The wall was no matter what you do, no matter what suspension, no matter what you do to the underpinnings of the vehicle, it's always going to be 92 inches in wheelbase and too narrow of a track width. And that is why if you drive a Restomod, which we built really, really nice ones, it's still not going to drive like your G-Wagon or Range Rover. It can never. And so we decided, instead of trying to make an old car more modern, let's take a modern car chassis and give the people what they really wanted. Because our customers and our clients, they're not mechanics, they're not collectors, they're not purists. They just loved the classic car look. So why don't we give them modern car reliability, modern car engineering, modern car safety, by the way, and I'll walk you through that. But create a classic inspired vehicle that gives them that 1960s feel, but none of the 1960s problems. That's a big endeavor. How on earth can you take this and turn it into this? Well, I'll walk you through that. But let's first dive a little bit deeper. We talked about geometry, and we talked about wheelbase, and we talked about track width. What else about a modern chassis makes a modern classic significantly better than any restoration or Restomod on the market? Safety features. In your car today is 60 years of technology and engineering and design advancements to protect passengers. Back in the 1960s, none of this existed. So let me start with the chassis itself, the frame. In the frame, engineered into this 2025 chassis, are crumple zones. There's a big misconception out there that they don't build them like they used to, and that is just incorrect. They may not build them as nice looking as they used to, but I can assure you that the technology, the design, and the safety and the engineering is a 10 times difference, an order of magnitude or more better than a frame and chassis from the 1960s. Why? Crumple zones were designed and engineered to crumple around you so your passengers stay safe. A lot of times people see car crashes and they go, oh, it folds up like an accordion. It's supposed to on the outside, so you're safe on the inside. And if you ever Google, and you can do it on your own, do your research, Google classic car, crash, no crumple zones. So no weight transfer and no energy absorption. So in this 2025 chassis, you have the peace of mind of knowing that there are crumple zones built into the frame to ensure that in the event you get in an accident, you're going to be protected with those crumple zones. And then in the doors are side impact beams. So inside of these doors are side impact beams, something that did not exist in the 60s or any Restomod or restoration. And then the real key and the biggest difference is going to be airbags. 6 of them. No classic car in the world has airbags. You cannot put airbags into an old car. Believe me, if we could have done it, we would have done it. And when we asked that question and people told us, well, you can't do it, we didn't stop there, because we don't get blocked by problems like that. So we decide, you know what, our customers want a modern driving car, modern safety features, modern car reliability. What they're actually telling us is that they want a modern vehicle that looks vintage. And that is actually what we give you. We're the only company in the world to do it at this level and scale and craftsmanship, and have the infrastructure and the customer mentality to service it like a new car dealership, like a new car company. And so the underpinnings is everything. Your investment of $250,000, we don't take that lightly. It's a lot of money. You don't want to start with something from the 1960s with no modern geometry, no safety features, and no airbags. So the airbags that you get are 6 total. 1 here in the steering wheel, 1 in the front passenger side, 1 in each of the front seats, side curtain airbags that give you that side and rear passenger protection. At the time that I bought my old Bronco, I have now still 2 kids, 8 and 10. They were younger then. And my wife, she was always nervous about me taking the kids in my old classic car. And I've had other classic cars too, by the way. Land Rover Defender, FJ40 Land Cruiser, H1 Hummer, all these old cars. They all look cool, but they all had similar problems. Reliability issues, drove harsh and loose and bad, and no safety features. My wife was right. Driving around in those cars, you have to start getting really picky about where you're gonna go, how fast you're gonna go, how far you're gonna go, and that really limits you. Most people, if you ask people who own true traditional classic cars, will tell you that they have a love-hate relationship with that car. They probably love the way it looks, and if they're being honest, they kind of hate everything else about it. The leaks, the squeaks, the rattles, the breakdowns. And so again, the biggest difference is find out underneath that restoration Restomod, what's the platform? What's the chassis? Does it have crumple zones? Does it have side impact beams? Does it have a functional roll bar that's tied to the actual frame and chassis, or is it decorative? And that's just the structure, right? Old cars don't have anti-lock brakes and traction control and roll sensor and stability control. They don't have those things. They didn't exist. Now, some vehicles you can try to like retrofit some of those things, but you can't put all of it in there. And so then you got basic things like backup camera, parking sensor. I'll show you that on the finished car. But at the end of the day, if you want something that's going to drive like a normal car, be reliable and not break down, you can actually drive it on the freeway going 80 miles per hour with your kids in the rain on a distance more than a couple miles, like maybe you want to drive to your lake house or your beach house or wherever it is you live. You should be able to do that without thinking twice, because you do it today in your Range Rover, your G-Wagon, your Urus, and we know all the cars you have, we have them too. And so once you have established that you do want those things, and that this is truly, not because I say so, because it's just a fact, modern technology, now you made it with a classic-inspired design. I'm going to show you behind the scenes how we actually accomplished that. Because quite frankly, it's pretty crazy. I went to Bob Nardelli, former CEO of Chrysler, our board advisor, and I said to him, Bob, we don't need to build old cars anymore. We're going to build a modern car and make it look classic. And he thought I was crazy, but once he understood the concept, he said, let's do it. And this is what we did. We went to Detroit and we engineered and designed and stamped brand new steel, classic inspired body panels with no rust, with no imperfections. And we own the molds and the tooling. No one's ever done that before. That's a big endeavor. And these are not plastic, they're not fiberglass, they're not aluminum, and they're not made in China or Taiwan. They're actually 100% Detroit-made, American-made steel. And we own the tools. It was a very expensive and huge bet. But we knew what the customers wanted because A, we're the customer, and B, we had so many of them giving us feedback that we took it and we made it better. Now they're covering it, but oh well. Okay, here we go. So what we did then was we stamped brand new panels, real steel, feels classic, no rust, and then we went to great lengths to ensure that all the lines and all the gaps were perfect. Common problem with old cars, the gaps and lines from the factory were not good. So you might say, well, that's a cosmetic thing, ugly, but I can live with it. Problem is, if you don't have great lines and gaps, you get wind noise and you get water leaks. let me guess that you probably don't want water leaks, right? If you live in a climate where it rains, automatically you're not gonna be able to drive your car. By the way, if you have a classic or rest mod and you don't have traction control and anti-lock brakes, you're not gonna drive in the rain anyway. With this, you have all that, and you're gonna have the peace of mind of knowing that every nook and cranny is measured down to the millimeter, all handcrafted by our amazing team of people. And this is just one of our facilities. I'll take you to the other facility one day. I'm gonna come back over here and show you. We then go through hundreds, and it's 900 labor hours, by the way, of hand-made craftsmanship. Check this out. Where we transform this modern car chassis into a modern classic. Classic inspired. By the way, you want it to be inspired. Here's why. Bigger, wider, longer, therefore drives better, right? So this is a very imposing vehicle. You have a G-Wagon, your G-Wagon will be jealous sitting next to this thing. So this right here, macadamia metallic, beautiful color. This one's pending sale. Didn't even hit the assembly line yet, and it's sold. And this is what it looks like after we paint it. Hundreds of hours into a show quality paint job, and I'll say it, guaranteed to be better than OEM. Why? It's not automated. We didn't use robotics. This is handcrafted. It's a lost art. We've assembled an amazing team of craftsmen and women who are able to do this work at scale. So how do we scale an unscalable business? Because restoration typically is done by memory and by feel, by mechanics in a shop. This right here is not a shop. It is a factory with standard operating procedures, work instructions for every single step in the entire process. There are hundreds and hundreds of steps, every bit of it documented with a torque spec for every single nut and bolt. It took us years to refine this process. Well, you might say, big deal, why is that important? Well, these guys right here who love what they do and they're full of passion, they need a standard, and that standard is perfection, called out down to the millimeter. And then once they do their job, our quality engineers can come in and then check against every single work instruction, every single spec, every single step accounted for. And we do in-station audits, which means we don't wait till the end to inspect the car and try to figure out what went wrong. Restoration shops, we did that, honestly. That's how you start off. And then you realize, wait, what about all these problems? So instead, you build quality into the vehicle. And the way you build quality into the vehicle is you have standard operating procedures, you have a process that's followed, a torque spec for every nut and bolt. And by the way, you need amazing people who love what they do, who care about what they do, have passion for their work, and this is not a job for them. Hey Leslie, what you working on today? Look at her. Looks like paint by numbers here. What you work? I mean, this is crazy. So these are the macadamia metallic air vents, and she's just putting the tiny little finishing touches on it. And I love this team because I started this company purely out of passion and love for cars. So to be able to build this kind of product, you have to find people who share the same level of passion and love for cars. In this case, the brand and the product that we build, they love what they do. These guys deserve all the credit. So you want to know who's building your car and how they're building it. And this is just some of our team members. And we painstakingly built this team over a long period of time. And so this right here, mallard green, great classic color, worn glove. You'll see this transform. Everything is measured with data, tack times. And the reason why that's important for you is because we can pretty much guarantee on-time delivery. I'll be honest, guys, in the past, we couldn't. And that was really frustrating for me and the clients, because what if it's for your birthday? What if it's a surprise for your wife, or an anniversary present, or you sold your company, or you retired, or it's graduation, or it's your kid's 16th birthday? We've done a bunch of those, believe it or not. And so on-time delivery matters. Well, you can only have on-time delivery if you have a process that allows you to have on-time delivery. And so we have every step in every station broken down with work instructions and time. Tack time, T-A-K-T, right? So tack time allows you to calculate how many stations, how many cars, how many days, how many hours, how many people. We've got it down to a science now, guys. It took forever. We were relentless about it. And I couldn't promise you that, honestly, years ago, but I can promise it to you now. You order a car from us, two things are gonna happen. Number one, it's gonna be on time. Number 2, it's going to be perfect. That's a bold promise to make. And I would have never said it before because we couldn't do it. But with this team, this process, these parts, and let's talk about the components. All of the components we use are extremely high-end and very expensive. So yes, it's an expensive car. That's because the entire process, 900 handcrafted labor hours, and the materials of all the things we use, we did not skimp out or cheap out on anything. If anything, they're too expensive, but that's okay. Like for example, this door handle, and I'll make this comparison because if you have a G-Wagon, you know, go out to your garage and touch your door handle on your G63 AMG. It's a $250,000 car, but your door handle is plastic. And so is your Range Rover, and so is your Lamborghini Urus. I have all 3 of those cars, I know. And when we designed the car, we said to ourselves, we don't want it to be as good as a G-Wagon or a Range Rover. We want it to be better. So every component, really well thought through, all handcrafted, all audited on the line. And then when we finish this assembly process, we go through test miles. And the test mile process is rigorous. It's not a feel thing, all data driven. By the way, my background is in technology, and so everything for us is about data. We have all kinds of data scientists and data on stations and parts and people, and we do it over and over and over until it's perfect. And then after test miles, it goes through our inspection process again. This is our rework station to make sure it's perfect. And then it goes into final detail. And in final detail, truly is where the magic happens, where our master detailers, Bryce, what's going on, man? They put 8 hours each. There's 4 of them. What's going on, man? Into making sure you feed your custom repeatable process. And over here are finished vehicles. And I can tell you, all of these are sold with the exception of 1 or 2. And within all these chassis, this is just some of them, all of them are sold. The demand for what we do is massive because the world always wanted a classic looking vehicle, a classic inspired vehicle with none of the problems. I'm going to introduce you to Rachel.
Hey.
What's going on, Rachel?
Just checking out this one.
Yeah?
So beautiful. Shout out to Greg, our client. Take it up to Nantucket.
Oh, no way.
So he's going to rival Dave Portnoy for one of the best looking vehicles.
Yeah?
For sure. We have a couple clients up there, but this color is insane.
Yeah.
You show this one yet?
Not yet. I just took them through the process and the story of how it started my driveway and evolved to what it is we do today. By the way, Rachel Hanley on our amazing sales team, and she is standing by to field your call. You can text or call her. She'll answer all your questions. She'll walk you through the build process. She'll go into further depth and explain and walk you through what we have in inventory and what we have in progress. And you can pretty much call her 24/7. I don't know when you sleep, but you're pretty much always on.
Yep.
All right. Well,
you know what? I wanted to actually tell you one thing. So I just got off the call with a couple clients this morning, and sometimes we forget because we're here all the time, and this is just something that we're working with on a day-to-day basis. But I just talked to 2 clients this morning. One, the first client, they have young kids themselves. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm a mother. I have a 9-year-old daughter, so safety is really, really important for us. And the client that I spoke to this morning, they have 2 young kids that are still in car seats. And if you look at what we're building versus like what everyone else is building what we used to build. They don't have safety features. There's no latch seat belts for those car seats. The kids aren't going to like driving them in anyways because you're going to have to go so stinking slow because you don't have any safety features. You don't want to do that. As a mom, I'm not putting my kid in something that doesn't have safety features. With us, not only do we have the latch seat belts, I don't want to touch this one because this one just came off freshly coated, but in the back there is the latches for the seat belts so that if you have littles that are still in car seats or booster seats, or even if you have a kid under 18, I mean, some of our clients, they'll let their kids take them out for maybe a joyride, but would you let your 16-year-old joyride in a 1966 Bronco with no safety features? No way. Because one, those don't drive like a new car, they have old tech and no safety. So anyways, back to the clients I was talking to this morning. They have 2 really young kids. The husband has always wanted an older looking vehicle. He thought classics looked really cool, but he didn't want to sacrifice new car steering, braking, reliability. So he came across us. Actually, it wasn't him that found us, it was his wife. Because his wife is who wanted to make sure, honey, we're not wasting our money on something that's $300,000 and you're not going to be able to put the kids in it. And the other funny thing is his wife is also going to be the one that's probably going to steal it from him, because 50% of our clients are female. And I want to show you this too while I'm telling this other story. So the other guy, he has grandkids. So think about it, it's not just kids, it's grandkids, it's your whole family. You wouldn't put, just like I know if you're married, you're not going to put your significant other in a vehicle, right? That is going to endanger them, especially when, you know, I'm not the best driver, so I can't go and even risk it in those old cars, but you don't have to worry about it. So this one is up for grabs right now, you guys. This is a midnight blue, one of the most popular colors we have. It's absolutely stunning, and this one has our worn glove, which is one of our most popular interiors. It's light tan. You'll see this one has the chrome trim and chrome wheels, which really gives it that vintage flair. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just the finishing touches is absolutely so pretty. Even just the hinges here, you'll see the mirror. It's just so pretty. Now, I'll show you the interior on this one. So there's Alcantara and leather throughout the entire vehicle. You'll notice also the steps to hop into the vehicle. So don't worry if you're short and or if you're tall. Something that a lot of our clients say, hey, I'm 6'4", I'm 6'5". We have multiple clients that are 6'8", 6'11". Actually, one of our 6'8" guys, he uses this as his daily driver. So you're gonna have plenty of room, okay? So don't worry, you're not too tall or too big. You're gonna fit in this vehicle. But this one also has a black soft top. So this is in our safari mode, but it does completely enclose as well. So you don't have to worry about if it's gonna be, you know, if you want it in like more of a fun, breezy mode, then you can definitely do that. But yeah, one other one that I wanted to show is this Brittany blue one. Now, I did just talk to a client. He's actually looking to take this one. He's from Minnesota. But he's actually looking to take it to his home in California. So if he doesn't take that one today, if he doesn't take it, we're gonna list it. And a Brittany blue one will be up for grabs on our inventory page. So we'll add in dates of when it'll be deliverable and when it can actually ship out. But this is one of the classic Ford colors too. Check this one out. Also has our worn glove interior. Absolutely beautiful. The other thing different about this one versus the other one, this one also has our vintage striping along the sides. Now, if you're looking for more of that vintage flair, the vintage stripes are gorgeous. Now, where we started at the beginning, you'll notice my good friend Greg, he's gonna be bringing that beautiful Arcadian blue one out to Nantucket. His does not have the red stripes. This is just an extra red stripe detail you can do without or with the red, which is something that we recently have been seeing a lot, and it looks beautiful. I always like to talk about this color because it's kind of, you know, when you think of like the classic colors, not everyone thinks of a gray, but this chalk gray looks so good on this build, and this one has a white interior, which is beautiful. Now, if you also have the littles, hey, if they can stay clean, this would be so fun for them too. I actually have a client, she's so cute. She actually got one of our pink builds, and she did a pink and white interior, and her daughter has a white car seat. I'm just so impressed by her. And her ability to keep everything clean, but it looks so pretty, and her daughter loves it. Her hands are up in the back seat as the windows are all down. It's so cute. So fun. We love our clients with not only their kiddos but their dogs. That's another thing that's so important. Dogs love the vehicle. We know those are the babies too. What else? This one's shipping out to Arizona. Corinna, she's so great. This is an aspen green. We had never done this color before. It's so beautiful. So I'm so excited to see this one go out, and it has a dark brown interior. If these guys are here. Okay. Now, my favorite. This is, okay, so if you're gonna ask Rachel from Vintage, what color are you choosing? This is it. I love the Wimbledon white. Something just so classy and timeless about it. And not that, it just pairs so well with our interior. I just think it looks so good. Again, another very popular, the worn glove is being chosen a lot. Another very popular one that a lot of our clients love is our ball glove brown, which has a little bit more of the marbling throughout, but this one is so beautiful. So this one we literally just listed yesterday on our inventory page. You'll see all available specs, but if you're curious about this vehicle, there is a number posted below. Shoot me a text or give me a call, because I will be in and out of meetings all day today, so I promise I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But if you're looking for something sooner than later, this is the one, and it is beautifully specced out. So, and now if you don't take something that we have up for grabs, we do have a little bit of a wait list, so shoot me a text and see how far out we are. I think, gosh, we're probably, I can't remember exactly, next year already, so let me know. Now, the way that it works, if you hop on our build schedule, you're actually gonna sit down with the design concierge. These girls are amazing. They're gonna sit down with you, your whole family. You get to choose colors, options, interior, options for upgrades, whatever you want. And yeah, we can pick out some fun options from there.
Okay, awesome, Rachel. Thank you so much. You're amazing.
I gotta go get back to it.
Okay, go get back to work.
Call me or shoot me a text if you have any questions.
Okay, thanks,
see you
Rachel.
guys.
All right, Rachel standing by. You can shoot her a text, give her a call. Just to recap, Wimbledon White, whoa, available right now, for sale, immediate delivery. So if you don't want to wait and you like this color, you've always wanted a classic, but you didn't want to deal with the problems, this one is in stock and it's ready to ship. And the other one is the midnight blue. On the other side, I'll take you over there before I crash here. And that's midnight blue with the worn glove interior. This is a 2025 modern Ford drivetrain paired with a Roush performance package. So when we reverse engineered perfection, we asked ourselves with no limitations, if you could make the perfect classic inspired car, what would you do? Well, obviously, number one, you don't want it to break down. You want it to be reliable. Number two, you want it to be safe. Airbags, traction control, crumple zones, anti-lock brakes, roll sensor, roll bar, all the things that your modern car has. Luxury, let's just admit it. If you're shopping for a car at this price point, you're probably a little bit bougie, okay? I've spoiled my wife with all kinds of cars. If you want to come back as a kid, my kids have been spoiled with all kinds of cars. My daughter, 16-year-old daughter, has one of these. So we had to make it really, really nice inside. In fact, so nice, and we're so confident, not because we say so, but because our clients tell us. When you get on the interior of this car, you're going to look at your G-Wagon and your Range Rover, and you're going to go, huh, it's actually on par, if not better. I only know this because when we designed the vehicle, I pulled all three of those together in my garage, and I told the engineers and designers, we don't need to make it as nice as a G-Wagon Range Rover. We need to make it nicer. So every single part in this vehicle is wrapped either in beautiful leather or Alcantara. We spared no expense. If anything, we spent too much money. No plastic inside. This is billet aluminum made out of a single block of space grade aluminum, put on a CNC machine, sculpted into this piece of art, and then sent to Detroit to be brushed. It's overkill, but we did it because why are you going to get in your $250,000 car and grab your handle? It's plastic, right? In here, all of this right here, all this trim is leather. And it's not just like leather. One thing I learned about upholstery is very, very hard to do it well. Almost anyone can do it, but to do it well, and I'm super picky, guys. Let me remind you, 50, I guess at this point, almost 60 cars that I've owned, and these are the nicest cars you can buy. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, McLaren, AMG, Bentley. So I knew what good looked like. And I wanted our customers, when they get in the car, to basically be blown away. And it's the coolest thing. We actually have people here right now on a tour, and what they always say is, wow, this interior is ridiculous. And there's 12 different leather color options. There are 4 different seat insert options: diamond stitching, pleated stitching. There's a woven leather you can choose from. There's plaid we can do. We do Schumacher, if you know what that is. Super high-end textiles. And every stitch is accounted for. The first thing I do when I get into any vehicle or boat, for that matter, big boat guy, I'm always disappointed by the upholstery on the interior. It's because it's very, very hard to get it right. I mean, think about how many stitches there are, and they all have to be perfect. That's not easy to do. And so again, 900 labor hours to go into this handcrafted piece of art that you can actually drive every single day with confidence because it's reliable, comfortably because it has modern geometry and all the modern 2025 engineering, and the luxury that you're used to. And let me tell you a story that's very much a fact, and we're just blown away by this, is that our customers, they've always had Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and Bentleys, so we're used to the reaction that they have. They're really impressed. By the way, every bit of the entire roll bar, which is functional and tied to the chassis and houses your side curtain airbags, is wrapped in Alcantara. You can imagine what that cost alone was, like every bit of it. So if it's not leather, it's Alcantara. And what we recently delivered, and you can go Google them to do a fact check, Supercar Ron, Jeff Miller Cars. These are two of our recent deliveries in the last few weeks. And these guys, they don't just own Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Bentleys and G-Wagons. They have those too. They own supercars. When I say supercar, I mean cars that cost $1, $2, $3, $4 million. Bugatti Chiron, Koenigsegg, Jesko. These are crazy cars that I haven't even owned yet. And I can tell you, that was the ultimate test because we were very curious. We wanted to know not just what rich people were going to say about the fit and finish and the quality. We wanted to know what super wealthy people were going to say. And what they told us blew us away. And it was a validation of all the hard work, all the time, all the energy, all of our people and their pursuit of perfection. They told us, number one, the fit and finish and the craftsmanship of this vehicle is beyond their expectations. These are $2, $3, $4, $5 million car owners, not their car collection, single cars. They know what good looks like. Over the moon. But by the way, to be honest, we already knew that because that was our standard. We want it to be amazing. By the way, these are not plastic. These are billet aluminum, space grade, CNC'd, sent to Detroit, brush finish, right? But the second thing they told us is really what got us really excited is that you may own $1 million cars, but not only will this become one of your favorites, if not your favorite car, you will get more people asking you about this, waving at you, taking pictures, just smiling. They love it. And I remember when I delivered Jeff's in Pebble Beach at Monterey Car Week, and he had his Bugatti Chiron, really, really nice. Look it up, FJ Miller Cars. He had his SF90XX Stradale. He had his Koenigsegg Jesko GT3 RS. And number one, he was over the moon about the quality, the fit and finish, and we delivered it on time. But the second or third day, I ran into him and he pulled me over and he said, "Cho, people love this car." And then he kind of paused because I know exactly what he's thinking. Because if I had a Chiron and a SF90XX and a Jesko, I would probably be really surprised to say this too. And he did. He said to me, "It gets more looks than my other cars." And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And by the way, we're in Pebble Beach at Monterey Car Week. If you're a car person, that is like the car event. And it's just the truth. Supercar Ron out of Utah, look him up. Huge car collection and a huge car guy, a huge car personality, and a super funny guy too. He has Ferrari F40, Carrera GT, every iconic car you can think of, new and old, including that Aston Martin Valkyrie that's all bedazzled that he also brought to Monterey Car Week. And if you watch his videos, he will tell you he has a midnight blue one with a worn glove. His has a 3.5-inch lift with a 35-inch set of tires, so his bigger and more lifted. He says it gets more thumbs up than any other car he owns. He's going to do a review of it to fact check it. So go check that out. But here's what I will promise you. Beyond those things, at the end of the day, this is a company and a product built with passion by real people who care immensely about our customers. We don't take a $250,000 base price lightly. We know that's a lot of money, and therefore you should get everything you want from quality and fit and finish and reliability and craftsmanship and safety features and technology and luxury. But the biggest thing that I can tell you, car companies in general don't brag about because there's nothing to brag about, but especially restoration companies and rest-of-mod companies don't brag about, is warranty. So tell me, what happens after we deliver this piece of art to you in your driveway and something comes up. It's mechanical. It's a car. We hope you drive it all the time. If anything comes up, mechanically, cosmetically, bumper to bumper, it doesn't matter what it is. We stand behind all of it. It's our warranty, and it's not a normal warranty. It is a white glove warranty. What does white glove mean? Well, again, let me share with you our philosophy. What would a perfect warranty look like? Well, I've had Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, McLaren, AMG, Bentley, all those cars. That warranty is not perfect. So I basically said, well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? If a warranty was perfect, then if something came up, you'd call your concierge, not a service center 800 number or somebody you don't know. The same person, by the way, who walks you through your entire build process, gives you updates and pictures, and knows exactly who you are, what car you built, what the spec was, when we delivered it. They know your kids, they know your dogs. We become friends, okay? And therefore, that single point of contact is at your disposal. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. It doesn't matter what time it is. We don't care. And we also don't care what it costs, because our budget for a warranty is a blank check. And this is how we do it. You reach out to them by phone or text anytime. Something comes up, we're going to call you back very quickly. We have SLAs for everything we do, which means we're very quick to do it. And we record that data because that's a KPI for us that we must deliver on. Fast response. And if our team cannot handle that warranty issue remotely, it could be a headlight, it could be anything, it doesn't matter what it is. Ferrari, Lamborghini, they all have warranty, right? We can't handle it remotely. We have our own certified traveling technicians. They work for us full time. They know the vehicle inside and out. This is not an outsourced thing. You don't have to go find some hard to find mechanic. I've done that. I hate that. And you will too. You probably don't even know a mechanic, right? Why would you? Our people in your driveway, at your house, you don't have to go anywhere. Fast, like 72 hours. And if we don't have anything to schedule, which a lot of times we don't, we're going to be there as quickly as possible. And it doesn't matter where you live, because that's part of the service. So you call the person you know anytime. We react quickly. We come to you. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to wait. And the cost for that is exactly $0. Isn't that what perfect would look like for a warranty? Person you know responds to you quickly, takes care of it quickly, sends someone out to you. You don't have to be inconvenienced. And we're not going to nickel and dime you when we come out. Because one of the things I always hated was after I had to wait, call a place they don't even know who I am, and then I gotta wait to get it in. I have to bring it to them. I'm super busy. I work like 90 to 100 hours a week, and the dealership's not close. And then a few days later, they call me, and the service advisor is gonna say, Cho, we'll take care of this, but you're gonna take care of that, and we'll cover labor here, but you gotta cover parts. I don't know. For $250,000, can't you just cover the whole thing? Now look, if you abuse it, or you did something you shouldn't have done to it, then that's different. But that hasn't happened yet. People that build these cars, they love them and they take care of them. And we're going to take care of you because, again, it's our philosophy on building and reverse engineering perfection. And so I just want you to know that from all of us here, that if you buy a car from Vintage, that's an obligation that we take seriously. And it's our people, it's our process, it's our parts, and it's the relentless commitment to quality and perfection and service and satisfaction. We don't want you to be happy. We want you to be blown away. And here's the good news, and I can say it with a straight face because I couldn't do it before. People loved us before. They love the service, they love the people, they love the brand, they love fit and finish, but there were just a few things that couldn't be achieved with any restoration or Restomod. What I can tell you is our customers that have a modern classic built by us on a modern car chassis with this team, this process, they love the car. They love the car, and they tell us that it is their favorite. And so we're standing by. We have a couple in inventory that don't last long. We have a few in progress I didn't show you. Boxwood green, Brittany blue. This Caribbean turquoise is our demo. Maybe you can talk us into selling it. I don't know. And then we have builds in the queue that you could customize. Go to our website, go to our configurator, build out your truck. You can choose from 30 paint colors, 12 different leather colors, 4 different interior options, endless When I say endless, I mean stripes, no stripes, top, different colors, wheels, upgrades like teak wood, stereo, really nice stereo upgrade in here, Focal audio with a 10-inch JL subwoofer. And one detail I love, we didn't use a plastic speaker grill, because why would you at 250 grand? You're probably just trying to make margin if you're doing that, right? We went and did leather perforated. Everything we do down to the details. Can you tell I bought my wife a lot of purses over the years, right? If you have the ability to buy this car, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You will appreciate all of the details and all of the thought and all the craftsmanship. It's an obsession. And then you have the peace of mind of this, which no other classic car in the world has. Airbags. So if that's appealing to you, reach out to us and we'll answer your questions. We'll walk you through the build process, walk you through inventory if there's any left, walk you through the builds in progress, which get snatched up very, very quickly. And if this is for you, we'd love to make it a reality. And one thing I can assure you of is that it doesn't matter what car you have or what cars you've had, you'll be extremely impressed by the quality, the craftsmanship, the fit and finish, and the service. And it takes an entire village, as you can see, to pull this off. And we are extremely lucky. Hey, Chris! Blessed to do what it is we do, to be surrounded by these people. And the biggest thing, when you build a great company, people don't know about your company or are just clients. You build a brand. When you build brand, you have fans. And so I just want to thank the fans. I know that sounds kind of funny because we're not a singer or a musician or an actor. We have a lot of clients that are. This brand has 3 million fans globally, and our reach is nearly 100 million views a month. There's no way we could have built this brand without the support of all of our fans. So the one thing I want to say to you, because I started this live off by telling you my story. I started with no money. I was a kid that just had a dream. I loved cars. And if you are not in a position to buy this yet, the key word is yet, don't give up on it, because I started with nothing. And every customer that acquires one of these vehicles likely had the same story. So if you love this and you're obsessed with it as much as we are, because we are obsessed with it, then go in the configurator and go build one out for yourself. Even though you can't afford it yet, don't discount yourself. Don't say I'll never be able to buy it, or I'll never be able to afford it, or it costs too much. Step your game up, right? First, you got to have a goal. And that goal, what's going on, Francois? That goal should be in front of you, and make it visual. Go build your configuration on the configurator at vintagemodern.co and make it your phone wallpaper. Print it out and put it on your mirror and tell yourself, I'm gonna get that. Because I can tell you, this entire dream that exists today started at the very, very bottom from a kid who just said, hey, I love that, I'm gonna go get it. And I'm glad I did, guys, because I've been in great companies. I've started and built great companies. This one right here, this is a global brand in the making, and a case study on culture and what happens when you get great people who believe in the mission and share the passion. And so when you're buying a car from Vintage, it's not just a vehicle. You're buying into a philosophy and a dream. And people here, it's their dream car too. Don't you want someone who's building your dream car to deeply, deeply love and obsess over every little detail? All right. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate all the support. It means a lot. Thank you to our clients who trusted us with your investment. Thank you to everybody out there, our vendors, and the people that make this possible. It's a miracle to do what it is we've done at this scale, at this level of quality, and to be able to stand behind it. This is our life's work, and we would be honored to share it with you. So thank you guys, and we're on standby. You can call or text Rachel, and we look forward to chatting with you and building you the car of your dreams. Take care.